Hey everyone, welcome to 2021. We made it. I don't spend much time talking about current events, but I hope that all of you are healthy and safe. We might not be out of it, but there's at least a light at the end of the tunnel with regards to the pandemic and the vaccine, which is definitely good news. I think that's going to help a lot of people with the trouble, or at least the stress that this has been putting on everyone. Having the light at the end of the tunnel is a huge benefit. But I'm not gonna dwell on that. It is a new year, and that means it is time to ask, how's the channel? This year, I decided I'm gonna open up the books, as I might call it to you guys, and just make it simple. By showing you the analytics. I like meta content. I think that opening up this data to you guys, the viewers, makes for interesting content because it gives you guys an eye into the world of the small creator. YouTube has a lot of cool analytics features that honestly I can't take advantage of because I'm just a small creator, but I think are still interesting to see because while we may not have the data of a big creator, we still get to kind of like imagine what you might actually get to see out of that information if you were a big creator. And if you guys want to see what the data of a big creator looks like, well, I guess I've got some work to do. so I'm going to go ahead here and swap over to channel analytics. So this is something that is visible on every page pretty much. Every single page that you every single like YouTube creator's backend page has this tab, is this analytics. You can't see the actual tab where I click on it. There's a whole bunch of other stuff like where you can manage your content, your playlists, your comments, stuff like that. But yeah, this is the landing page. It is the overview. So I've got it set to 2021, but you can look at all sorts of stuff here. I can look at lifetime. I can look at just specific months or specifically last number of days. So you can, and you can go custom. You can pick your days. But we're just gonna look at 2020 because this is what this video is kind of for. It's a 2020 overview. So this year I got 10,000 views, which averages 940. Sorry, it doesn't average it, which is 940 hours, which averages to about an hour a view. No, sorry, a tenth of an hour a view. Don't mind me, I can't do basic math. So that's 6 minutes on average, 6 minutes per view. Which is obviously going to be, an average is not a useful number in that case because that could be one person hopping onto a video and watching it for 30 seconds or 10 people doing that and then somebody watching it for the full hour or something like that. So not necessarily a useful number to look at, but the fun one is over the year we've gained 31 subscribers. So if that's one of you, or if you are one of those 31 that joined us this year, thanks. I hope that you enjoy my content, and that's why you subscribed. But as you can see, I'm not recording this on the 31st or anything like that. I don't quite have the turnaround time, and with the holidays and stuff, I wanted to be sure that I had the time to make this video. But yeah, you can look at all these. This is just some basic information. Obviously, I'm not in the revenue program because I don't have enough subscribers to my channel. But that's fine. That's not why I'm here. But that's why that number is blank. We are at 225 subscribers. A ridiculously nice round number. I mean, I know it's not like actually round. I don't know. It feels like a good number. It's a multiple of 25. Like that's... I don't know. You've got a 1 in 25 chance of that happening, right? So it seems like a good number. But yeah, so this year we broke through past 200 and into 225. I think we did. I don't know. It's been so long This year's been so crazy. I thought we were above 200 at one point last year, and we kind of maybe dipped down right before the end. But either way, we made the push and have stuck there, because we can actually go so far. So this is a view graph. Obviously, we can pick, hey, there was a day here that I got 94 views for some reason on August the 13th. Don't know why, but I did. We can look at watch time, which is even more spiky. But we can also watch the subscribers. We've been mostly picking people up rather than losing people. Hence why we have a net positive. But yeah, this is a cool little graph. It's not as useful for me because, there are people who gain, triple digits of subscribers a day. And it's really more of a trend graph for them. Whereas this is very spiky because, it's not the most exposed or popular channel in the world. But we do even have some fun real-time stuff. We can look at the last 48 hours, how many views we got, and which videos most people are watching. Which, point out, what the hell? This is an old video. It's not that old, but it's just like, I don't know. Clearly the YouTube algorithm does some pretty wonky stuff sometimes. But we also have other fun things like reach. So this is all about like where your channel gets views. So impressions, this is literally how many times people see it. And it even says that. How many times your thumbnails are shown to viewers and how many people click through and actually look at the video versus the views that it generates. We already knew the views numbers from before. So 160,000 times, which is an increase of 30%. My thumbnail's been shown to people, and just over 3% of the time, people click on it just to see what it is. And 9%, it's up 9%. That's pretty decent. And our views this year are up 33% over last year. That's cool. I mean, that's actually like ridiculous growth if you were to be looking at it. If you were to continue with that level of growth, like you would get really big pretty darn fast. Maybe not like on a viral level, but pretty darn fast. And unique viewers, we don't get to quite see this one because you need a smaller window of data to determine how many unique viewers are there. At least it's less accurate. But they also kind of take the time to break down some of this extra data, and you can see why people actually click on my videos. So people searching for stuff. I have no idea what this one really means, but like. Some other reference, maybe it's if I posted a video on Facebook, which I don't do, but like that, something like that would be where this falls into, I think. Playlists, so basically because I have a bunch of playlists, if people are using the playlist functionality to go through, just browsing, or somebody goes through my channel page, and who knows what others are. Oh, there's even more. I didn't even click more. Oh my goodness. This doesn't fit. This doesn't fit. Go back. I have the screen region cut here. So that's an interesting thing that you can dig into. I was not prepared for that one. And then also this is a good way to figure out how these impressions are going. So basically, am I making a good impression? So 160,000 impressions, 3.3% click-through rate, which was 5.3 thousand views, which led to 460 hours. Now, some of these impressions are also like, I feel like subscriber boxes count on this almost. I'm not quite sure how this works. And then there's like, look at all this data. Like a Google search. Oh, okay, this is a breakdown of the external. I did briefly look at some of this, but there's so much data here. So people Googling my stuff is apparently the biggest way that things get. But DuckDuckGo is apparently another option. Interesting. 1% of people come through Bing. I don't even know what ecosia.org is. That's concerning. I wonder if that's like, occasionally I do get spammers in the comments, and I wonder if that's where some of that is, but I have no idea. If this is you, if you come through ecosia.org, let me know, please. I'm curious. So my playlist, so basically, if the Blazing Beaks playlist has basically gotten the most return, which means it's probably the most liked. Demon Crawl second, The Flame in the Flood. Loved that game. Still up there in the top 5 apparently for this year. For this year. Subterrane, another good game. Really long game. Wasn't what I expected. Enter the Gungeon, probably my favorite roguelike. It's definitely up there. It stands a good fight. But yeah, and actually this is the bottom, and because of the way that I've trimmed the screen region, you can't actually see that. So sorry. Uh-oh. No. I clicked on the wrong thing there. Anyway, so yeah, the traffic source suggested videos. So basically, the Flame in the Flood gets suggested a lot, it would seem. Oh, that is the one. So this isn't my video. Is it? Is that my video? Am I dumb? I might be dumb. It's been a long time since we played Flame in the Flood, but apparently that's where most of those are going. Because, yeah, that one's not mine. Anyway. And then YouTube search for Blazing Beaks is what's getting most things. Interesting. Okay, this Terraria putrefaction powder, I've seen this before, and I don't understand. It'll come up later. But yeah, so this is a really cool way that you can figure out like how your videos are reaching people, hence reach. Engagement is engagement, so how much people are watching, things like that. So the 940 watch hours, once again up 36%, great number. That's just basically showing the graph of how many per day, your average view. Once again, this is all over the place. I'd be curious to see what large YouTube data does for that. And then there's this whole like key moments of audience retention. So you can actually look at a video and you can basically watch how many people were watching. So at this point in the video, 7% of people were still watching, which means that, you know, this moment right here, this early moment is the best time. So by 41 seconds, most people have stopped watching. So, you know, it's one of those things. And then for this one, same kind. Oh, that's even faster. Oh, I guess it's not because it's a longer video. Actually, no, it's about the same speed. And yeah, you get to look at all these different graphs. And I'm sure if you got to look at more videos, you'd get more interesting data out of this. But you can also look at specific things. So, and then we can look at all the things. So top videos. So once again, watch time. This is the top video. Don't quite know how that one works. Not gonna lie. No idea how that works. And then once again, here you go. Purification powder. This episode of Terraria, for some reason, people watch it. I really don't know. It's just one of those things, man. I haven't been doing end screens as much. I kind of stopped, so I'm not surprised that these are older videos. End screens became a lot harder to automate or make fast with their new system. But yeah, we can see that Blazing Beaks is our top playlist, which isn't surprising. And I only have playlist. Actually, no, I think I do have a subscribe. But yeah, that's kind of one of those things. Oh wow, and nobody does best for viewer. Interesting. The top cards are all zeros, so don't worry that you can't see them. So yeah, that's the engagement. That's basically figuring out how to reel people in. There's the audience. So once again, these are both bad. And as they point out here, you need to be within 90 days to keep it accurate, because figuring out who's unique over the course of a year, you could log in from multiple different platforms, different locations, different IP addresses. Like, what is unique doesn't necessarily matter nearly as much within that point in time. And the same thing with average views per viewer. But up 121% of gain of 31 subscribers. That is not that 31 subscribers is 121%. It is that 31 is an increase of 121% over last year. which would have been somewhere around 25, I suppose. But yeah, good numbers, can't complain. We've seen this graph before. So when your viewers are on YouTube, there's just not enough data. This is a small YouTube problem. Not sure exactly what you need to make that one, and this is the same sort of thing. We can look at some very interesting demographics effectively. So 73.1% of you are not subscribed, which is fine. I constantly, well, I don't constantly say this, but I constantly think it, that I'm not asking people to subscribe to my channel. Everybody who's on YouTube pretty much knows how this works. And if it's somebody who doesn't know how this works, it's because they either don't use the platform enough or they are too young to fully grasp it. And while I'm okay with people who are not familiar with the platform because they're not on it a lot being subscribed, it is the other category of people who might be impressionable enough to just do what they are told rather than consider whether or not they want it, that I'm not particularly catering to. So while it would be nice to see that number be lower, I only want it to be lower if it's for a good reason. The not subscribed number to be lower. The subscribed number would therefore be higher. I have a lot of people in the United States. Am I surprised by this? Not terribly, but that's okay. We got 1% in the UK, and then apparently everything past this is probably just spam, but I don't know that for sure. If you're one of these people, let me know. I'm always curious. But yeah, it seems like, I mean, people scraping the internet, bots scraping the internet, stuff like that is going to account for some of this. We are all men in between the ages of 25 and 34 years old. I'm pretty sure that mostly just has to do with whether or not people have their demographics tied to their account, because it seems unlikely that that is purely it, but that's just kind of how it goes. I'm not sure where they get all their data, and it's one of those things where if you have a bigger channel, you've got more data points and you can see more data like this, that would be more informative. But it could allow you to, approach things in a different way. Like, especially if maybe I find out that, I've got a lot of maybe French viewers, right? Like, maybe what I do is work towards having French subtitles or something. Like, you could use that to drive how you try to make things more convenient for your audience and things like that. Obviously, not too much to be learned here. I'm speaking primarily English. What's all we're seeing in terms of subtitles. And my two biggest demographics, or geographies, I suppose is how they go, are my two biggest geographies are, English speakers, or primarily English speakers. And yeah, this mostly just means that I'm catering to people who are just like me, which is kind of the point and kind of how I expect it to be. And then, of course, there's the last tab, which, of course, this is the silliest, which is revenue. I make no money posting stuff on YouTube. If this is news to you, that's okay. I don't talk about it a lot because this, for me, is a hobby. It is something that I enjoy doing, partially because I enjoy playing video games, which is something I'm going to be doing anyway, so I'm just kind of hitting record and then talking to people who aren't sitting right next to me, but who could be. That's kind of how I approach my commentaries, and that works for me. I've talked about this a little bit in the past, but mostly it's just trying to build a community of people who are enjoying the things that I put out for them, and if that ends up being nobody, which clearly it's not, there's 225 people subscribed, though, I think a good chunk of those are my friends who are who are throwing me a bone, but that's pretty much what the whole point of the channel is. It's not to get virally famous and start making hand over fist, just so that I can forget about the little guy and go off right off into the night as the billionaire YouTuber that I was always meant to be. Yeah, that's never going to happen, and that is totally fine by me. But yeah, those are the numbers. That's how the channel is doing, and as I said, I'm not planning to stop anytime soon. I've gotten some great advice, some great suggestions from a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people. There's been a lot of really nice comments, a lot of things that have been constructive criticism and what I would consider good points of view, because there's this whole thing that I believe in, and I mean it happens. It's basically the curse of being the writer. If you imagine something like a complicated high fantasy or murder mystery, something that could have elements of surprise or mysticism, as the person writing the book or the story or what have you, you're too close to it. You know too much. You need to make sure that the reality of what you're doing is accurate. For example, well, I guess that's not a good example. I was thinking Lord of the Rings because I was watching that recently, and it's like there aren't a ton of mysteries in the Lord of the Rings. But for example, if you know that part of story X needs to happen, but it can't because character Y doesn't know about that, like that is something that you have to bear in mind, like actively, because you don't. The second the person just goes, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna wander over in that random direction, hope nothing bad happens to me, or hope I don't find some MacGuffin," that sort of thing needs to be careful. You need to be careful about that so that you don't give characters knowledge they're not supposed to have. But as somebody who is writing, you might be too close to that and forget what people should and shouldn't know. Not saying that's common, not saying that's something that happens in Lord of the Rings at all, but that's how it feels sometimes being the creator. Is I get focused on doing the creation, I'm doing this thing, I'm in this workflow, I want to play the game, I want to process the video, I want to put it out. I get so focused on some of those that I don't necessarily think about maybe my thumbnails could be better so that people would click on them more, or the interest of my video need to be faster because that's when people are dropping off. Those are the things that those numbers are supposed to help you think about. But yeah, that's the numbers. That is the opening up the books. And I hope you guys find that interesting. I know that this is now an incredibly long video that has a whole bunch of random numbers in it that aren't particularly helpful. But there's not much more left, I promise. Because if there is any actual news for the channel, there are a couple things. First, I've been doing a lot of streaming on Twitch recently. Part of that is because of the pandemic. A lot of the stuff that I would do on a daily basis or weekly basis is no longer happening because it's a social event, and I'm trying to quarantine and not get sick. So that has led to the opportunity of being able to stream more because I'm playing games at my computer. My social interactions are online instead of in person. So I'm streaming a bunch of games, stuff like Hades, Dead by Daylight, Spelunky, Phasmophobia, a few others, and even some board games too. So my schedule is a little bit hectic because it's really just when I'm playing with my friends, or if, I'm feeling a little bit chipper later on in the evening, I'll go ahead and start the stream. Around the holidays, I'm not really streaming because it's holidays. But I have been streaming about once a week otherwise, and if you want to stop by and say hey, please do. I guess I should edit the description to have a link, but the name of the Twitch channel is OmniGriffin, just like this channel, so it shouldn't be too hard to find, even if it's just with a copy paste. But that's pretty much it for a yearly update video. I could tease some things that I'm trying to work on, but I honestly have no idea when they'll be finished for various reasons. And so I think if they do get done, I want it to just be nice surprises. Before we go, I did just want to give one shout out. I wanted to give a shout out to Batman. I don't mean the superhero from the comics, though you could argue he is a superhero since he's watching his way through Stardew Valley, pretty much all the episodes. He's watching through and leaving some fun comments. It's great to see his comments coming in. There's so, like, I played that game so much because I enjoyed it. I knew I was late to the party and I just binge played it, and all of that content is just like concurrent. I don't even know. I think that was like the start of the pandemic that I started playing that. It was probably my first game there, but he has been working his way through those, and I'm pretty sure he's up to date, but I don't know for sure. Because there's just so many episodes. The fact that it's out 2 days a week. Either way, I just want to give him a shout out. Batman: The Dark Knight, you truly are a superhero in watching all those videos. But yeah, that's it for the update here. I hope that you guys are enjoying a good kickoff to the year 2021. If you're spending it watching this for, dear Lord, almost a half an hour, props to you. You're bumping up my rookie numbers, and I appreciate it. But yeah, if you find the time to stop in and hang out, whether it be on the channel or on Twitch, that is awesome, and I will appreciate it. And here's to another year of videos and streaming, and hopefully a world that is a little bit less hectic than last year. But we won't know for sure until we live it, and I will probably talk about it at the next update video. But until then, keep your gears turning.